They count down. You know, we say, those who are married this year, sit down. But let's just take it as marriage. Okay. So what you're looking at is the challenges that married men face and how to overcome these challenges, mostly in our time. And because it's a men-only place, we will try to take the mask off and be real and be men. I hope you are not ceased to be a bishop in thy sight. Yeah, so certainly we face a challenge today, and modernity has its own challenges that it poses to us as a human male creature that God made. But because our conference is looking at brave men, we're not just male, but we are men, and we have to take our place in running the stage of the world as men. By this, I'm not trying to obliterate the fact that we do have the feminine group that are also useful in the coexistence of humans here on earth. But why does man face challenges, and why are these challenges of modernity growing, as it were? I will try to break it up in the facets, looking at the certain responsibilities, which I will say, I'll be using the phrase, take care of. So I may present 4, take care of, or 5 as time allows. The first responsibility that we see in the book of Genesis chapter 2 is that God gave Adam, and God made the man and put him in the garden. If you read the whole chapter, starting from verse 2 up to 15, you find that he said, you tend and dress the garden. Meaning that God, just at the beginning, work never came by seed. It wasn't the fall that made us go into labor. Labor is part of creation. And the very nature of our bodies doesn't allow us to be idle. If you become idle, the body starts to gain unnecessary flesh and fat on it, because you have to be active. He made us at the initial stage to be hard workers, because he said, you take care of the field. If we have simply said, having blessed you, go and pick the fruit, you know, and everything is free for you. No. Even when he brings deliverance into the promised land, he says, I'll take you to a land full of milk and honey. You try to go and attack the bees and get their honey. You find that it's labor. You have to know how to harvest the honey. You know, I remember when I was growing up, Dad told me said, when we are harvesting the bees and the honey, don't run away. They will hit you badly. Get closer to the tree where we are getting the honey from. Reason being that the ones that are usually found where the hive is are the workers. The soldiers are the ones that are away from the tree. So one who doesn't know, he will be afraid of the tree where they are harvesting the honey. Meanwhile, he's making himself prey to the biting bees, the ones that are soldiers. Then you find the ones who are harvesting, they are just crawling over their arms, and they're not biting them, because those are workers that are there and attending to the queen mother. So it is the issue of bees will not allow you to take the honey freely, but God says in the land full of milk and honey. Then you have to learn how to keep animals to have milk. So there's nothing free in the kingdom of God. There's nothing free in life, we can say. So in the first time that God gave man, he said, tend the field, meaning that he gave us labor and hard work. The second command that I see to us as men, first is tend the field. Then the other one is mind the tent. or take care of the tent. Mind the tent. What is the tent? The tent is the private life. Why should you lie naked in a tent and kiss a child who had nothing to do with your drunkenness? Yes, that was no. Okay. He drinks and lies naked, and the child goes, oh my God, nakedness, my father. Then he wakes up, he says, who laughed? I want to deal with you. Who laughed? Listen, it's your tent, it's you that fell asleep and in your own drunkenness. Mind the tent. Number 3, look at them in detail, is take care of your road. Take care of your road. God speaks to Judah as Jacob is, blessing the children. He tells Simeon and Levi in their act of slew a man. When he comes to Judah, he says, Judah, you shall be like a lion's whelp. He stooped up like a lion's whelp. Your brothers shall praise you, and so forth. And the scepter shall not depart from your hand. That's to Judah. And then one day, the scepter is in the hands of a daughter-in-law. This pregnancy I'm carrying, the owner of this scepter is responsible for my pregnancy. Meanwhile, God said the scepter should not depart from your hands. How did it end up with a young lady? Take care of your scepter. And then, number 4, God gave a command to man that he should take care of the household. So look at the challenges on how we can be able to handle the household in our time. And lastly, take care of technology. But it's in life. Okay. So look at those things. So let's go back to creation. Right now is a time when all of us as men must gather our strength, because the world is changing very fast. Let me start first of all from background. We find the Bible is largely, most of the Old Testament, it is largely agrarian in nature. Though as a preacher, I like Malachi that says, again, God shall open up the windows of heaven and the like and make them spiritual windows. But no, it was just rain clouds he was talking about. That there will be rain falling on the land. There's nothing spiritual about it. Of course, as a preacher, I like that, and Malachi is good for tithing. How many of you know that? And if you don't tithe, there shall be holes in your pocket and so forth, and whatever mysteriously money shall disappear from you. No, I don't teach that, because, giving must be by way of understanding the mission of the Lord, and without our giving, the gospel can't go far. So by that persuasion, and without expecting anything back, unlike what we do these days as we are preaching, we play jukebox with God. It's like the measure you give, the measure you get, and so forth. And you can't outgive God. You can't. So if you're going to give, don't just give God expecting something back. After all, you were a sinner, designed and designated to go to hell. And God, by his mercy, took you back into his kingdom. Therefore, even if he doesn't give you back after you've given your millions, don't cry. You were a candidate of hell, now you're a candidate of heaven. Just love him. Whether you get back anything back from him or nothing, just love him. Because his grace has made you who you are. And you have eternal life now. So giving must be based on understanding, not a threat of, and I want to tell you, if you don't give, there shall be pockets in you, thieves will come upon you. No, they don't need to come upon you. It's a grace. What I'm talking about now is the influence that's coming and which can cause consternation and let a man forget to do what he's supposed to do. it is calling right now for families to stick together. Using the garden principle, take care of the field. This is the time of hard work. This is the time for hard work. God will not bring things to us free of charge. Those preachings we are getting late 90s and early 2000s of shouting in the pulpit, which misled you as pastors, we did. Say after me, and full-grown men, some even professors in the country, they are also following the preacher. Say after me, money, and the doctor is shouting, money, come to me, now. I apologize on behalf of the pastoral fraternity. It never comes by way of a slogan. It has never been. Not in the word of God. It has never been. It has always been, whatever land you shall place, wherever you shall place your feet, I shall give you for an inheritance. Feet must be placed somewhere. Whatsoever you shall touch with your hands, shall I bless. Hands must touch something. Not sitting at home and shouting a slogan, or going to some mountain to go and pray. After all, in the New Testament, he told us that we should not be boasting about mountains. Because he said, true worshippers will come, who shall worship my Father in truth and in spirit, where they shall not brag about the well dug by Jacob or the mountain somewhere. God answers prayer. You lie in bed. You don't need a mountain to have more answers. No. Of course, I'm not trying to ban mountains. What I'm saying is, God can still answer prayer anywhere you are, because the real mountain must be the sincerity of your heart to your Maker. Amen. That's the real mountain, really. Okay? But sometimes after catching the fire of the mountain, people come and they want to just come and do slogans and declare things. I decree and declare, I decree and declare. Brother, you die decreeing and declaring, and nothing will happen up until your hands are placed to something. Amen. Yeah. May I also say this, that the basic investment capital that God gave to man at creation is land. That is why every human male, no, not the male, it's general, every man, every brave man should look for a piece of land. Right. Yeah. Look for a piece of land. I don't want to say, no, my gifting is not to go and plow, my gifting is to work in an office. There's no gift like that. You have to go to the land. I mean, one brother came for a bishop, a friend of mine from Kenya, Bishop Boniface Adoyo. He said, Bishop, you mean all this land, as we were driving from Livingston, you mean all this land is unoccupied? I said, no, it's occupied, there's owners. But why is it not stilled? I said, well, I think, he said, my goodness, how I wish Kenyans could come here. He said, Kenyans could come here. They'll get this land. We have to wake up and know that the basic investment capital that God gave to us is land. And you have to do whatever you can do. That is why it is the only item whose value never depreciates. Because it came from God. It always appreciates. So we need to work hard to ensure that the concept of tend the land, which God gave as the first instruction to man, before even sin came into the world, it was land. And he said you tend it, meaning that you have to work hard, work at producing for the family, commit yourself to hard work of a sort. So in the tending, God is calling us to hard work. And sometimes we can have this laissez-faire thing, life going easy. We need to change our work culture as well. Mostly as brave men, because we are setting the pace for others to follow, we need to change the work culture. That work culture of wanting to work as little as possible, but get as much as possible outside, out of it, is wrong. Let your income be equal to your investment in terms of sweat and labor. By doing that, you are being sincere before the Lord. This idea of ducking and getting out of the office to go and do your personal thing and come back and then you get free money, it's wrong for brave men. You must be paid for what you labored for. not just because your name is on the ticket. No. So as brave men, we have to set the pace, because as sincere and as faithful as you are in the church, so shall it be at your workplace. You cannot be sincere in the church and then do something else at the workplace. You can't. So in taking care of the field, God is calling us to investment. Can you imagine that in the very second chapter of Genesis, God began to talk about investment and commerce. It says, and the river was covered by three rivers, Tigris, Euphrates, and another. And it says, and in that land, the gold and the onyx is beautiful. In the first chapter of creation, the second chapter of creation rather, in the first book, God is talking about gold. He's talking about emeralds. He's talking about onyx. He's talking about precious stones. Meaning that God is a God of commerce. He's calling us to investment, not just sitting idle. If he can speak about gold and onyx in the second chapter or after creating man, in fact, before even Eve would show up, God first showed Adam the investment. Says there's gold here, and the gold is good. There is onyx here. He was simply saying, exploit them. As you take the field, exploit the resources and use them to your advantage. So mining and whatsoever takes place today was defined in the second chapter of Genesis. Going after gold or commerce is an issue of the first chapter of the Bible. So we need to get involved in that. You know, there is I'm not trying to talk about everyone else, but my brother was involved in some business. I think he was the first person to be doing hydraulics. And so he had a small company, in the 80s, and doing hydraulics. Then he didn't use his investment well. He collapsed. So I was telling my mom, I said, you know what, your son has collapsed because his business has gone down because he's been too much on the bottle and pleasure. The Bible says, he that loveth pleasure can never grow rich. That's a teaching of the Bible. He that loves pleasure can't grow rich. This idea of also, I'll come to the tent when I'll talk about this idea of having girls. Are we not an open book here? Yeah. These girls, I'm telling you, they don't listen. You can say, I'm broke. She says, I've got your wife's number. Okay, but what do you want? I've been giving everything I wanted her for. But let's talk about this idea of investment and the like. We need to change our concept. Because here's the danger in Zambia. We started with a controlled economy. So the government was Father Christmas. Anything which happens, even what is in my bedroom, you know what the answer will be? Boma Yangane. In your bedroom, Boma Yangane. The government must take care of this. Now, because we began from a controlled economy, one party state and so forth, parastatals were everywhere, and the government was employing, even if someone is not working very hard and so forth, the government will subsidize the company, you still get your pay and so forth. So now 1991 comes and things turn around, and this private industry, people are still looking forward to the government to provide. No! Right now it's a game of survival of the fittest. It's survival of the fittest. The idea of looking at the government, this government, all that it makes is absorbed by the civil service. 80% pays civil service over our total gross. Only 20% is the leverage. And in that 20, also someone wants to eat from the... You know, these things are not easy. So even the fight we have over in the press is 20% because the 80 is gone in the civil service. So it's survival of the fittest. No one will come and spoon feed you. But
But if you can get land for growing soya beans and so forth, when agriculture saturates a country, things can change. God gave us the basic employment, first of all, was agriculture. But Zambians hate agriculture. Because, you know, Father Christmas government used to feed us free of charge. Things you can't survive that way. We have to change our concept. So here's what my mom said. She said, no, don't blame your brother. I said, yes, I can blame you. She says, no. If it is not given by God, no matter how much you try, I said, Mom, you are supposed to be a Christian, you're not a Muslim. If you're a Christian, you believe in faith, not in facts. There's a difference. If you say it is God who designed it, that is faith. And you're promoting a laziness to say, whatever happens to me, it has happened because God designed it. Let me tell you, God has never designed your lifestyle. You have to make a choice. If you were not so, he wouldn't have judged you. Because if he judges you, must set him up. It means setting you up. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
He drip off you one side, he blocks you, then he says, do it. Then you thought to do it, he says, I'm judging you. Then that's a setting. But God is not like that. He's not a manipulator. He's not. It is our duty to ensure that the family is taken care of. That's the issue of the guardian. We don't have much time. Let's go to the issue of the tent. It seems to me that every man carries a tent wherever they go. What is in your tent? God wants us in our tent, speaking of private life, to be in tune with Him, to be in line with Him. In the private, what do? God is interested. On this one, let me mention this. How many of you know that as a man, you are disadvantaged? I know there are a few crazy girls who are like men in terms of this, but as a man, the way you are made, you and I and myself, we are disadvantaged. Because God made us potentially polygamists. By nature, a man is a polygamist. I have to be careful here. By nature, a man is a polygamist in the sense that if a woman is given 10 men, only one is going to impregnate her. Give me 100. Somebody's saying I'm good. What am I? The reality of man is that because of our nature, the challenges of this century are going to be played because potentially you are polygamous. And Jesus, in his cleverness and knowing man, he says, any man that looketh at a woman lustfully, already in his heart has committed. He never said that commandment concerning a woman. It is us who have the trouble. I'm a pastor. I received one brother who came. He says, Pastor, I'm going to leave this church. I said, why are you leaving the church? He says, because you don't preach on dress code. I said, why should I preach on a dress code? No, because our sisters don't dress well. So they are tempting us instead of concentrating on worship. I said, why don't you look at them? Why don't you look at God? It's because of the makeup of man. So these challenges are coming even much more in this modern life, to a point that now man is at a point of being devastated by every kind of temptation. The private life of man is destroyed, and people who appear just for keeping up appearances, but the moral fiber is eaten up. The tent is actually occupied by other things in there. The tent. The brave men take care of their tent. They don't become careless in their tent.
in their private lives. I'm a pastor, I've handled issues. I spoke in one of the conferences talking about why people fail to confess. It was a couples conference. So I was talking about why spouses fail to open up to their spouses, say, I made a mistake because of the fear of being judged. And you, as a wife or husband, when a partner comes to confess, don't now take advantage of them. Open up. Then one brother comes up, says, I have a situation. I have this girl interviewing. And I'm saying this because he authorized me, as a pastor, he authorized to relate on whatever happened in the counseling room, of course, and then with express permission from the person. But he said I could because it's a lesson to others. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, pastors are no true road. We shall die with the secrets of men. So the brother, after I listened to that teaching, he was pressing, wanting to tell the wife. But he says, I can't. So he comes and tells me. So I said, okay, this is a heavy thing. Well, how did you end up? Well, he talked about a conference he went to in Siabonga, and she was part of that, and how things happened in a twinkling of an eye, and then something developed, and then he was glued to her, but when he decided to let go, it was that she would tell the pastor and the wife. And so that is why I was referring to RAV4, because she was demanding a RAV4. You know, it's like a point of laughter, but there's trouble in places. People are in problems in life. People are entangled in life. They are entangled in situations whereby there are even others who can't even show their face on Facebook. What they've just put a fist. Because if they put a face there, comments will start. You also go to church. So now I meet a brother, he explains, I said, you have to tell her, he says, Daddy, I can't. I know her. I said, no, we can, let's do the two of us. So the Zesco, Greatest Road, and near Wimpy service station there. We went to Wimpy, and the wife came. So I said, Mama, your husband, you know that teaching I taught about being transparent and allowing your partner? And the Bible says, true love casts away all fear. She says, yes, Papa, yes, Papa. In my heart, I'm saying, Papa, you don't know what I'm doing. So then I told her, I said, your husband has a confession to make. I gave a background and I said, you know, you need to understand that you can't perpetuate bondage. He needs deliverance. And this deliverance, you are part of a critical matter. He can never receive deliverance without you. How, Papa? I said, yes. This is the thing. She turned around, looked at him, then she went. Then quickly I realized tensions here. I said, and you know what? Actually, he's ready to let go. But she has been threatening that she will inform you. And the fear of you has been his bondage. That's what I'm saying. In his deliverance, you are critical. So, well, she's quiet for some time. You have to give her time to vent out. And then turns to the husband and she demon. Two demons. And you know, he coiled like a little boy in the presence of the man. I said, humble yourself. Well, he kept quiet. Then she says, anyway, for the respect of that, it's okay. I said, now, deliver him. I'm going to ask him to make a phone call to the lady and to tell her this off. And then you're loud. Let's put it on loud. So he put it on loud and called. And then she answers, and then he says, listen, that thing I've been telling you, that things are over. I want to repeat to you. I'm a Christian. What I did was wrong. First of all, I want to apologize to you for having done that to you. And I'm sorry. So I'm breaking up. Then he says, you have now gathered courage. Before she could finish, the wife went for the phone and said, you demon, listen to me. You report me. And she went on into an unutterable. But anyway, at the end of the day, deliverance was done because the couple is now maybe 4 or 5 years now, happily married and things are flowing because deliverance came. In as much as this case was there, how many of you know that? And I just pray, Lord Jesus, that there's no one in this room. But in as much as these things are so, there are people today who are living in bondage because they have caught themselves with a third person in the area of man. The polygamous potentiality in them made them to go to a situation whereby they have now breached the law of God, which says one man, one wife, all the time, for life. It's not one man, one wife, sometimes for life. It's all the time. So in the tent, there are people who are in bondage. In the tent, there are extramarital affairs. In the tent, others abuse their own sisters-in-law. In the tent, so many things are happening. But God is a witness of the activity in the tent. Your privacy. What's going on in the tent? How are you positioned in the tent? Are you like Noah after being saved from the flood? Then you sleep naked in the tent. Naked simply means a level of carelessness in the guarding of your privacy. You can't be careless. You have to guard your life as a man. Brave men are able to survive even where others are failing. Brave men survive. You know, that example I gave when I was in Podegray, Newfoundland, when that Cindy and Samantha were calling. I could have spoken them. You know, you have the name we look shy there. Anyway, I would have simply said, I'm lucky. This is far away, and they have come on their own. But no, you are supposed to take care of the tent. In the tent, it's a place of privacy, but under the honoring of the name of the Lord. We have to take care of that area. Then there are people in the second level. Third level is it? We're talking about the scepter shall not depart from thy hands. So here is Jacob. Judah. He is actually in the line through Christ which Messiah is born. And brethren, know that the devil is no respecter of persons. Unfortunately, he's not even afraid of titles. If you say bishop, he says, so what? Because he has dealt with angels before. He has dared God before. Who are you, O man, flesh? And to death you shall go. Before Lucifer. You're nothing. He doesn't fear. So here is Judah, who's supposed to obey the instructions of giving that daughter-in-law his son. Because they were dying, he was afraid, so he decides to leave her. But I want to question Judah. How did he recognize that these clothes are of a prostitute? Of course, it was familiar in the land, they were dressed in a certain way. And you would know that they are. But Judah, well, are you in the habit of doing that? How did you end up with her, Judah? Because he was on a journey, the Bible says. And then he finds a lady dressed like a prostitute.
And he picks her and sleeps with her. And it's like she was clever. She sensed that her physical features are changing and ovulation is about to take place. And this is a time to intercept father-in-law. After she's pregnant and they say stone her, because they have discovered unfaithfulness in her. I go back to stone and say, no, before you stone me, I've got a scepter. The owner of this scepter should answer all my pregnancy. Then it's the very Judah who is the owner of a pregnancy. Our scepter stands for also authority. It stands for a man's virtues. It stands for integrity. It stands for that. But how many of you know we can lose integrity very easily? You can be a man well placed, but this idea of the potential which is within us, that polygamous potential within us, as men, it must be guarded. Bible says, drink water from your own system. And this area, in this century, is becoming much more aggressive. Because sometimes even unsolicited things on computer come on their own. You want to go into some site or you find someone comes says dating site and they are free. The first chick you meet is free. All these things coming and you're a man. Moment you see, your body reacts. But we have to engage mind over matter. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. When you think sensual, so shall you become. When you think spiritual, so shall you become. And I think the time to be spiritual is now, because you know these girls are desperate. You can just be entering an office innocently. Hey, Daddy, that perfume is so nice. I like the scent. Don't turn around and say thank you. Ignore her and go. So this idea of saying thank you, those become the first steps. Because as you say thank you, when you're passing to go back, you say, I wish you can buy one for me as well. And because you are a man, and it's like there's some psychology that takes place when a woman speaks and a man listens to the voice. It's like a dog in some yard sensing that the beach is on heat. The smell we can't sense ourselves, dogs sense. That's the same thing when a woman speaks to a man. And when she's looking at you, you can tell what the eyes mean. And you end up saying, yeah, when I have time, I can bring it for you. I can bring it for you. I know, let me have your number, I can remind you because you can forget. Then you put on that number because she's Jen, Jen, you say John. Real issues. You know, one time I was out of the country and then I got back. Somebody had called my wife. She said, don't you know that your husband has got a girl in Counter Square? And the girl has a child of 2 years. Now, my wife, when I got back, she allowed me to sleep peacefully first day. But the second day, she said, let's go for a walk. So as we were walking, she says, read this text message. So I read and read and read. I said, oh, okay. You know what you do? Call her right now. Tell her that I am back and she must come. You go and pick her so that she can show you where that house of that lady is. You should do that. Call her. So my wife calls. Says, he's back actually. And what I want to come and pick you so she can show me where that girl is. The lady says, I was just going to warn you. I didn't say that you have to follow up.
It was a lie. It was a lie. Later on it was discovered it was someone who was doing that just to bring consternation. Now, when it comes to a scepter, and we talk about governance, you must lead your family. You must show leadership as a man. I know that times have changed. We were agrarian at first, then became the industrial revolution. Now we are in the technology revolution, as it were. And the coming of the industrial revolution changed the topography of human existence. Where at one point women were dependent on men, women now began to get employed, and some women get even more money than their husbands. And if your mind is still on account of it has failed to adjust, in this situation we are in, you can go into depression as a husband. Because you come home, you have 4,000. Then she comes home because she works for the United Nations, she comes home with 64,000. Now you start you start panicking. So you start to throw indicators. You know, I'm your husband. You must respect me. It's not business at all. It's 64,000. But in your governance as a man, be real. Simply tell her, my wife, I just get 4,000. You get 64,000. But we are Christians, and you know that. 64,000 there at the end. In here, we are one. We are one. However, how do you handle a wife who gets more money than yourself? There's a crisis right now. I've handled situations where the wife becomes arrogant because she makes more money than the husband. Those are challenges of the modern life. They will come. How do you handle them when they come? Well, one of the ways to handle that is to be spiritual. Because you're a Christian, you educate your people, your family in spiritual virtues. Create a virtuous woman out of your wife. Honor her for the money she receives. And ensure that she also has leverage on her money, on how to use it. Don't bulldoze and intimidate. It's her money, that's the truth. Yours is all. That's the truth. Yours is all. Hers is 64. Respect her. But as spiritual as the family exists, Christ becomes the center. No one can lift their ego up because everyone is submitting to Christ. But you make a mistake, try to feel and show her that you are threatened or intimidated by her payslip. No. Show her the spiritual part of your life and give her the respect she deserves for what she gains. And if she insists, bring her for counseling. Anyway, but the truth is that these things will be coming. So, because of this, shall the roles of man and woman be the same throughout the changing generations? The answer is no. You cannot allow your wife who goes for work at 7, comes back at 7 p.m., and yourself, you work from 8 to 16, you are home, no wonder it's 4. But anyway, so as you come home, then you want her to prepare coffee for you. Brethren, the times have changed. The times have changed. There's nothing wrong in being in the kitchen myself to cook. In fact, when the family knows it's beans, they know who's going to cook. Then my daughters will tell you, it's dad who's cooking today. It's beans. You know why? Because the days are tough. You can't just buy things. We have a shopping deal, but we also have a menu for every day. Monday, breakfast, jungle oats. Lunch, it is this. Dinner, it is this.
The days of changing your menu because visitors have come are over. These are tough days. You have to count. The British taught us something. They say, take care of the penny and the pound will take care of itself. Don't allow money to be eroded anywhere and have an upside down funnel where the entrance is very small but the outlet is big. No, it must be the upright, where the entrance is plenteous, but when it goes down there, it's just still trickling out. This is the time we are in. And brethren, for Zambia right now, as we go the next 2 years, $750 million is also waiting to start paying. And already, it's like Jeremiah 12 verse 5 is being fulfilled right now. If you are overcome by footmen, how shall you contend with horsemen? So we have to get ready for horsemen, because it shall become tough where we are going. But we are not the only ones. Countries have gone through that before. Germany, after the Second World War, went through summary, bunch of money to go and buy a loaf of bread. But that nation held together because the men in that country were brave men. They say the Dushmak shall rise again. It's the strongest economy in Europe. We need to be strong. Not to be all the time on Facebook answering to questions, this country is collapsing. Be brave men. The scepter should not depart from your hand. Bring limitations in the family on expenditure. Tax some vehicles and use one. All these things can be done because we have to. It's a time to show that the scepter hasn't departed from my hands. I'm in charge and I'm guiding the family. Because if we don't, we'll fail to survive. Let me handle the issue of how to make your wife treat you like a king. I'll give 10 commandments of a tough marriage. If your wife has to treat you as a king, number one, put your partner on the high place. Women like being appreciated all the time. They're different. For us, even if she didn't tell me that she loves me, I don't care. I know she loves me. That's why she's with me. Not so with our friends. Age is no factor. After some time, remind them, wow, I love you. You find that smile you first saw when she was a young girl comes back. Thank you. Put your partner on the high place. Our women folk never say negative about their appearance and their beauty. A woman can forgive you even for a slap, but never a disfiguring comment. They don't forgive. So, when you put your partner on the high place, they feel elevated, they feel honored, they will love you more. Number two, strengthen your wife's character. There are some men who compete with their wives. And they are matching up. There was one couple I was dealing with, they were staying in 2 locations, but going to one church. He was picking the wife at the bus stop. In church, they are in leadership. Hallelujah, the power of God is here. Hallelujah. Going home, where will I drop you? It can't be. If there's any issue, discuss it. And you, who has the scepter in your hands, provide the guidance. My wife and I are also open that we have quarreled only once. And there was a quarrel. Our firstborn was getting married in 2006, April. I can remember the date because we quarreled on that day with my wife, ever since we got married. It was our first quarrel. My sisters came for the wedding. Her sisters came for the wedding. One of our sisters is one who has grown up with our children, so they know her very well. So she made a comment and said, lock your the children, lock the suitcases, we are many of us here. My sisters hate. So they go to my dad, who had also come, to say, oh, our in-law is saying we should lock up the suitcases because we are many. Then dad says, so she's implying you have come to steal. So all I do, I see his dad in the living room with a suitcase. He says, give me transport, I'm going back. I said, going where? Then he says that, because I can't drop from you. Can I steal from you? Dad, I didn't say that. Well, I go to hear my sister-in-law say that. So I tell my wife, Liz, tell your sister to apologize. She goes to tell her, says, no, I didn't say that. She comes back, no, she says she didn't say that. I said, no, Liz, just persuade her, just to apologize, so this wonderful period can pass without hiccups. She comes back, no, she says she didn't say that. I said, okay, just persuade her. So my wife comes back and says, no, she says, then I raised my hand and said, Liz, I said, tell her just to apologize. That's the first time we quarreled. That's the quarrel we had. Why are you laughing? How what kind of quarrels do you have? But you know what? Here's what we do. At the end of every year, my wife and I will go to a retreat. Okay? Because one of the commandments is that seek for some solitude. We'll go to a retreat, and in that retreat, we always ask each other, how did I fare the past 12 months? In what area would you want me to change? She tells me. And I also tell her. So every year, we improve. Because we open up to each other. So there's no hidden corner. One day, I remember some years ago, she told me, she says, I'm not happy with the way that member hugs you. I said, which member? He says, that young lady, Victoria. I said, so the flesh was trying to defend itself, like, so what do you think of me? I said, no. Okay, I see. Let me give you a background to Victoria. Victoria had gone through a crisis in which I helped them. So I had to relate to her the whole crisis. She understood why Victoria was so passionate when she saw me, after I explained. Then she said, I understand now. So she never put mind on it. But if I didn't explain that Victoria comes, Daddy, all the time, and big boobs, you know, she...
The chest.
So, thinking of some time to go and seek some kind of solitude, the two of you, and speak to each other, will bring cohesion in marriage. Suspicions are removed. Trust is developed. It's important to do that. Every, brethren, like I said in the morning, any sexual immorality or anything that takes place in the world, it is a man to blame, not a woman. Because if a woman doesn't want, she can be forced. If a man doesn't want, brethren, John says no, it's no. Because he will not do anything, because he will go. So whenever such a thing happens, we know man is guilty. So change the man and you change the world.
Amen. Amen.
One theologian, African theologian, John Mbiti, said, I am because they are. They are because I am. Or I am because you are because I am. But in the Western world, I am what I am, and you are what you are. What he meant was, there is a crisis on the African continent to localize and domesticate the word of God as it regards to marriage and the extended family. Most troubles have come because people have failed to handle extended family. Because in extended family, you never go. And no matter how old you are a son. In the other country, places, they'll just, Mom, I'll be sending you a card. I found a friend, we're getting married, and I'll send you a card. Here, no matter how old you are, even if you are a widower, and it's you who keeps your mother, you still have to ask her, Mom, I found a replacement. That's how life is. And now because of that, you find some people have divorced based on excuse of the extended family. Let me tell you something. Save yourself from the extended family. We don't give to anyone in the extended family consumption money. If they ask anything, they must come with a project proposal. Don't fund consumption. Because the best things in life are free. And people like free things. And we cannot develop as a nation in this unrestrained extended family. We shall be a bottomless pit. Because you know, it's like you have a serious cough. Then you buy a cough mixture. As you go to visit your cousins, you find the eight of them all have the same cough. Then you say, let's add water to the cough mixture. You either die of a cough, all of you, and no one will be cured. Reason, you have diluted this. We may laugh for the cough mixture, but that's how we spend our money in Africa. That's why it's never enough in the families. Because we dilute our little salaries to so many people. We have to bring measures. So if somebody comes, no, I have no mini-meal, no, I don't find mini-meal here. Go and find something to do. I'll give you money to go to the market, and remember, this money is revolving in your pocket. After getting this money, never come back. If we want to win ourselves from this bottomless pit called extended family, we won't go anywhere. Amen. There must be measures. And there are some brothers who will say, no, but I take care of my mother in the village. So she has to know that I take care of my family. Plan well. I'm not trying to say chase them away. But plan well. This is one of the roots of confusions in marriages, because husbands are not weaned from their parents, and wives are not. But a man with a scepter provides guidance. No, we can't fund consumption here. Most if a young person with his strength, Uncle, I don't have, Uncle to me, no, bring a proposal, and I'll fund the proposal. And after I've gotten the first money, don't come for the second one. It must be that way. Lastly, the issue of spirituality in the family. Any lack of spirituality in the family is the duty of a husband. It is your duty as a husband to call the altar, because you are the priest of the household. It is you to draw a program, but don't, of course, you know, there are various methods of doing it, but don't make a full sermon in a family devotion. Some devotions are destroyed because the one who's leading is trying to only choose some scriptures which are there to address an issue that the partner did. Or that a child did. But if at all, you know, my dad, the way he raised me up, any offense I committed, he never beat me up. No, you call me. Then you say, come and read the scripture. Like one of them which has stuck up to now is when Moses was doing so well. But just before he could enter the promised land, instead of speaking to the rock, or speaking or hitting many times, then he hit it, as it were. Then God says, all right, because you have used your anger, you won't enter the promised land. Dad told me that when I was very young. That should have been 1974. He said, Tate, you've been a very good boy, and I'm proud of you. But control your anger. Do you know that anger made Moses not go to the promised land? Look at all this trail. And this a man God said, you shall lead my people the promised land. But he was angry here. And look what he did. And God said, you won't enter the promised land. I'm wishing you well. Don't fail to enter the promised land. Your promised land, because of anger. Control it. I'm telling you, there was no sermon in life that could change me. That statement changed me. You can do that to the family by way of sitting them around the scriptures. Well, that's our constitution. We have to run by it. Time is not enough. There are many things we can talk as men, but I think to be also a brave man, you sit down when time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. You've been blessed. I hope you've been handling in your questions so we'll be able to answer those questions in the panel discussion that will be coming up.